In this video, we talk about some key takeaways from my cold messaging script, as well as I offer you my word-for-word email script, which you can actually get in the descriptions below. And you don't need to give me your email or opt into anything. It's completely free. All I ask is that while scrolling to get to that link, you just tap the subscribe button and let's make YouTube happier. It is really that simple as actually getting your prospects information, which you can do using a software like Snovio.io, which is literally a completely free software you can use. All you need to do is get the Chrome extension, and using the software you can actually find your prospect's name, position, and email address as well. And an alternative to Snovio, if you can't actually find it using Snovio, is Hunter.io, which is another free software you can use to find the name and email of a prospect. Now, once you have a prospect's name and email, the next things you need are their LinkedIn page and their Facebook page, both being their personal page. And once you've filled all your leads into one database, now the only thing that's left is for you to actually clean your email list and only keep emails that will actually are actually verified, right? Because if you email an unverified email and it actually bounces, well, as the number of emails bounced increases, your email deliverability decreases. So that is a step you should never miss, which is actually cleaning your emails. Even if you have like 20 emails in the list, whether it be 125, always clean your email before actually outreaching to these people. Now, the structure of the flow and tips. So the structure of my email flow is the initial email and 3 follow-ups, and I send this to about 3 people, like 2 or 3 people within that business. But if you want to send it to 10 people, be my guest and send it to 10 people. The only time I send it to more than 3 people within the business is if there are more than 3 directors or chief executives in the actual business. But if there aren't any, I just send it to 3 people, which is the founder, an admin person, and 1 other random person in the business. Now, doing this is incredibly it's a very powerful thing to do, right? Because even if the founder doesn't actually get the email or read the email, well, the admin person might think it's a really fantastic thing and show it to the founder, or the third random dude might show it to the admin who shows it to the founder, or they might go directly to the founder, right? And either way, this will cause a lot of buzz about your agency's name in the business, which is something very, very great. And I honestly feel that it is way more powerful to have someone in the business talk to the founder than it is for you to talk to the founder directly, right? Because it's like a psychological thing. I can't think of the word of this psychological phenomenon, but it's actually how, if you were to compliment yourself to another person, right, and talk about all your accomplishments, it'll sound like you're bragging, right? But if your friend were to do it, or if even way more better, that person's friend was to tell them about all your accomplishments and how great you are, well, they will actually think that, wow, this person must be great, right? So now we can actually go ahead and talk a little bit more about my follow-ups and why I only do 3 follow-ups. Now, I do 3 follow-ups because I feel like once a lead hasn't replied back to me and it's already past 3 follow-ups, then they've already indirectly told me no, and they don't want to do this partnership or work with me. And I know this is crazy thing in the sales niche where They think it's okay to blast the lead with 12 emails, or even follow up with the lead for 3 years before they become a client, all in the name of following up and staying top of mind. But if you've followed up with the person 3 times and they still are ignoring you, then that's them telling you no, honestly, because they've already shown you that they aren't interested in what you have to offer. Now the next thing is email content, and we'll be jumping into my email content and actually breaking my email into different segments. Part 1 being the love. Now in part 1 is actually where you actually go ahead and give them compliments about whether it be like the awards they've achieved, or a vacation they went to, or even just about how like an ad their business is running, right? Now doing this ensures that your email remains it could only be me sort of thing, because if that person went to a vacation in Bali and you're like, I just saw on your Instagram page that you went to a vacation in Bali, which is insane because I went to vacation in Bali 2 months ago. It would have been great to just meet up with you if I had chosen to go this week, right? So doing something like that it can only be me moment, because when your prospect or your lead actually reads that email, it'd be like, wow, this person only sent that email to me. Wow, let me find out why they chose to email me personally. And they'll just go ahead and automatically read the rest of your email. And I find it converts way more better to have a personalized email than some generic email you send to your entire database. And I've fallen into a situation before where all my leads, like I'd say a good about portion of around 30 to 40% of the people I email would message me back saying, please get me off of your database. And that would really hurt because I can't reply back to them and tell them you're on in a database, because they are in a database. But once I actually shifted to personalizing the initial outreach, honestly, only about, I could say 1 to 10% of people actually tell me, please get me off of your database, and the rest of them literally believe that I sent them an email personally and it was only meant for them, which it was, because my virtual assistant takes the time to actually write out each email personally per lead. Now it doesn't mean that we can't send mass volume, it's not like my agency can send 1,000 emails a day, right? We only send around 100 to 200 emails per day. But the power of those emails, those 100 to 200 emails, far surpasses the power of the 1,000 emails, because each email has been tailor-made for the actual lead, right? Now, when it comes to the follow-ups, every single one of my 3 follow-ups is a generic follow-up, because honestly, the follow-up is just so that I can remain top of mind for a short period of time, right? So maybe the lead saw my initial outreach email and they were like, wow, I definitely need to book a call, but I need to finish what I'm doing right now, right? And they put their phone down, then they do whatever they're doing, and they just completely forget. 3 days later, they get a follow-up reminding them to book a call, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I forgot to book a call, and they just go ahead and book a call, right? So that's a great thing about that. Now, where was I? I was on part 2. I sort of went on a bit of a rant, but part 2 is the pain. Now in part 2 is where you're bringing out uncomfortability within the lead and making them feel a bit of misery by pointing out, or should I say by poking some issues that you've seen in their business and in the ads that they're currently running, right? And this is to, like, for them to see that, like, it's just like to bring them down, right? Because you've hyped them up by giving them a compliment and just down. And the reason why you yank them down is to open a wound, right? And once you've opened a wound, you can actually move to part 3, which is the key. And in part 3, this is where you introduce yourself and you mark yourself as the person who helps people who have that sort of wound get to a place where they're able to soothe and fix that wound, and probably even achieve way more better things than just fix that wound. Now, in part 4 is the action step. This is where you put in your link to your scheduling page and ask them to actually go ahead and book a call with you. So now that's the segments of the email done. Now we can actually jump into the actual email script, which is the initial outreach email script right here. Let's jump onto it right now. So my initial outreach email, which I'll be giving you, actually contains a subject line, and the subject line that I am currently using. And now this is a really big thing for me because the subject line determines whether or not your lead even opens your email. So your subject line is way more important than your the content inside your email. And honestly, you can take the subject line and put it into whatever email outreach you're currently using, and I bet you this will improve your meeting ratios drastically, because a subject line is a very important thing. And I had to go through like 4 subject lines before getting into this specific subject line. Now granted, some of the versions that I changed, I might have just changed a word. Like this wasn't like this part here wasn't inserted until the 3rd version of my subject line. So my first and second version of my subject line was literally just a sentence. Now I've just gone ahead and split it apart into 2 different parts. First, hey, first name, and then a little hyphen or a little dash right there to ensure that the name is separate from the rest of the sentence, to ensure that the name actually sticks out to the lead. Now we actually hop onto the actual email and the contents of the email. So let's actually go ahead and read it right now. So we have, hey, first name. So, hey Jackie, I saw on your Instagram page that you went scuba diving last week, which I thought was crazy how you manage your successful business while being able to do that. My cousin is actually big into that. I have never been a good swimmer personally. Normally, I do not message people personally, but I assumed that perhaps your company was also focused on the scuba diving niche, though I found out it was centered around fitness supplements. I might have taken a curiosity and looked through, finding that the ads you currently run are all static image ads that have no ad copy, just a discount code. And through my experience, I have found that video ads do way more better, with about a 73% better conversion rate than image ads, which, if you combine with long form copy, would drastically improve your ROI on your ad campaigns and let you strengthen your brand's audience while increasing the volume of your sales. And I have not even introduced myself. I'm a bit carried away. I'm Bongi. My team and I help fitness and health companies shift from 6 figures to 7 to 8 figures using paid traffic and online systems. I have a meeting in a couple of minutes, so if you want to have a short 30-minute call, the link is down below. Talk then, Bongi. So that is my email script, and you can actually get that email script down below. It is color coded with the color, each different color linked to a different part of the email, so you can know exactly if you want to change it and personalize it, what you're personalizing it into. And yeah, you can go ahead and click the subscribe button right underneath me and click this video, which I literally personally chose for you specifically.